Welcome back to the one and only Cruise1st TV. Wonderful to have you with us. You're in the right place now for the biggest cruise adventures in the world with the biggest names in cruising and the very best of prices. It's Derek and Joe here to make your cruising dreams a reality.
That's right. And this time we're heading off on adventures around the world with the cruise line that simply has everything. Excitement, adventure and tons to keep everybody happy. It has to be Royal Caribbean. Let's get holidays locked in and booked today and make everyone's day with 3 exceptional cruise and stay offers.
Yes, we have a Greek Isles trip coming up in June with a cheeky 3 nights in Venice into the bargain. We're heading down under to Australia's Queensland coast and the South Pacific. That's 3 weeks that you won't forget in a hurry. First though, we are heading off to the Caribbean and Bahamas to discover a new private island resort for Royal Caribbean at Nassau. It's a 9-night trip for the 30th of January in 2026, flying first out of the cold and wet UK.
Yes.
Over to sunny Fort Lauderdale in Florida for a 2-night hotel stay. You lucky, lucky people. No better place to be. Look at that blue sky and sunshine.
Jetting off in January as well. There's nothing like it. Feeling so smug as you're leaving the country. See ya! I know.
Yeah,
it's cold, it's rainy, it's dull.
Yep.
I'm heading to South Florida where the palm tree lined avenues and beautiful golden sands will await me. And of course, strolling down Las Olas Boulevard, enjoying some beautiful food, seeing maybe where the rich and famous live out there on the harbour as well. You've got to take a tour if you can. See where Oprah and Madonna live. Brilliant. Then it's time for us to join the iconic Oasis of the Seas for 6 nights on board. Beautiful Oasis class, in fact the first in the Oasis class. She was a game changer, she still is. I loved my time on Oasis. I was just around every corner. I was like, oh my gosh, there is a fairground, there is a water show, there's Central Park. It's so exciting. There's a rock climbing wall, of course. This is a feature, but it's bigger than ever before on any Royal Caribbean ship. Like it's one of their biggest rock climbing walls. The Aqua Theatre, oh my goodness, you just can't believe how these incredibly talented acrobats and performers, you know, literally dance through the sky and dive into waterfalls.
Your heart's in your mouth.
At sea.
Yeah, the whole time your heart is in your mouth and you're like, oh my word, they made it. It's such incredible talent. And it's Royal Caribbean that bring that talent to these amazing ships. They are brilliant. So forget where Oprah or Madonna lives. This is where you live for 6 nights. That's all that counts.
Right, absolutely. And there's such a novelty of wandering through Central Park and taking in, you know, going to the restaurant Chops Grills in there, for example, or you can head and do some shopping in the coach outlet there. Then, oh wow, the shows that they put on Royal Caribbean are legendary. You might find silent disco in the atrium or one of their theme nights, circus night, Caribbean night, 70s or 80s night. You know, it's one of the first companies that kind of instilled this idea of doing these parades at sea. So it's very theatrical, it's fun, everybody gets involved. You can just be, you know, standing up on deck watching if you don't want to get involved with it, but it's so much fun. The fun's infectious when you're on a cruise.
It is, and the parades are absolutely crazy because you just think, oh my word, I thought this would be like, you know, like the little village, what do they call it? The little village fair, you know, that they have once a year, the gala, where it's a few people, carnival, where they have a few people, you know, on floats following each other. And you think after 5 floats, that'll be it, it's done. Well, on these parades on Royal Caribbean, it's like 20 minutes of like these non-stop performers just coming from everywhere, every which way. The costumes that they wear are so lavish, and you just think,
oh, it's incredible.
My word, that's a big on production.
They have a whole team in charge of the costumes. Crazy. Not just for the shows, but for the parades, just like the Disney ships do.
And everyone gets involved.
Yeah,
everyone gets involved. It's just, and it goes on for like a good half an hour. It's brilliant. It's just one of the many, many entertainments that make Royal Caribbean such a memorable cruise, such a happy cruise.
Yeah, they instilled the zip line as well, so you've got that fun experience through right across the ship. The flow ride is also a brilliant thing to do whilst you're on board. The dining is legendary. Portofino, Chops Grill, Chef's Table, Rita's Cantina. you name it, delicious food. We are cruising out of Fort Lauderdale straight into Nassau, Bahamas, where you can enjoy, of course, the straw market right there off the ship. You also have the Atlantis Casino, where you can dive with sharks or dolphins, and great tax or duty-free shopping. But there's something new and exciting on offer for you. Your day pass to paradise. Opening in December 2025, you've got the Royal Beach Paradise Island in Nassau, which is a dedicated, incredible resort that Royal Caribbean have fashioned to cruises specifications through many years of experience. You have got swimming pools, restaurants, private beaches. You know, you have a day pass, you pay for a day pass, and then everything inside the resort is included for you. So this is going to be so exciting. Make sure you speak to the team on board about booking that when you get on board the ship. Then we're into Falmouth, Jamaica, which I know you've just been to, Derek.
I have. Beautiful.
Beautiful, and it is, you know, lots of Georgian architecture preserved from the 1700s, so lots of history. But you've got Dunn's River Falls that you can visit,
That's
which is
where
well
everyone
famous.
goes, yeah.
Absolutely. Then we're into Labadee, which is actually the private island beach of Royal Caribbean in Haiti, and you've got, of course, lots of water activities you can do there. You can book excursions, you can book a glass-bottom boat, lots of fun things to do. We're a daying at seeing back into Fort Lauderdale, new expression, back into Fort Lauderdale, where you disembark after this wonderful itinerary, taking in, of course, some of the favourite destinations in the Caribbean. But the ship itself is such a destination when you're on board the
Oh, my word.
seas.
I mean, this is just fun all the way, isn't it? And you're discovering that brand new Paradise Island of Royal Caribbeans if you buy the day pass for that as well. And you will be there literally within, you know, the first few weeks of it opening as well. So you can come back and tell me all about it, because you'll get there before I do. This is for the end of January then in 2026. Escape the UK and fly off to the States for a 2-night hotel stay in gorgeous Fort Lauderdale before hopping on Oasis of the Seas with Royal Caribbean for 6 incredible fun nights for the whole family, cruising to the Western Caribbean, including your chance to grab an all-inclusive day pass to that brand new Royal Beach Paradise Island in Nassau and enjoy the musical Cats while you're on board. That's a big production show going on right now. Phenomenal. Flights back to the UK at the end of the cruise included. Deposit today of just £199 each. A deal and a half coming onto your screens right now, which you're thinking is about £3,000 a person, don't you? Yes, it's not at all. 1,599 per person with a deposit today of just £199 each. You could not wish for a better deal, but I've got one anyway, because if on this offer, subject to availability, if you upgrade to an ocean view for just an extra $199 per person, we will upgrade you again to the fresh air and the doors that will open onto your own private balcony. You're welcome. Here's the overview and the upgrade prices then for you. Only one upgrade price to get you to balcony. You pay the ocean view price, we'll upgrade you to a balcony. You're welcome. Call now, and remember, your deposit is just £199 as well. So jump in straight away on that one. Now, there are other dates on the package as well that run from August right the way through to August in 2026. So call the team for prices on those. I think, though, that new resort, that new Paradise Island, is going to be a bit of a hot offering as well. Love on this itinerary, you also go to Labadee in Haiti, which is another private island resort for Royal Caribbean as well. It's brilliant. You'll love Royal Caribbean, honestly, from one end to the other, from one part of the day right the way through to the end of the day. You will have the greatest time cruising with Royal Caribbean. If you're tempted by that offer right now, but you've never cruised before, there's no reason why you shouldn't make this your very first.
When you choose to cruise, you'll experience one of the best value holidays with so much included as standard. Your floating resort will take you to multiple destinations in one trip, where you'll wake up to a new view every day and only have to unpack once. Your ensuite accommodation will have everything you need to feel right at home, with a daily servicing provided by your personal cabin steward. Around the ship, you'll have the opportunity to take part in various activities, which can include quizzes, dance classes, game shows, movie screenings, lectures, and much more. If that sounds too much, then feel free to relax, unwind, and watch the world go by in a solarium or around one of the pools, or even in a hot tub. If you're cruising as a family, then the little ones will be well taken care of, with a range of kids clubs available for all ages from morning till late. Plus, no matter what the age, everyone can have a thrilling time with rock climbing walls, zip lines, water parks, skating, simulators, and even bumper cars. When it comes to food, you'll never go hungry on a cruise, with options available right around the clock. Enjoy fine dining with waiter service in one of the main restaurants, or opt for something more casual in the self-service buffet. There's always snacks and room service available too. And as the sun goes down, that's when the ship really comes to life. Every evening, you'll be spoilt for choice when it comes to entertainment. From Broadway-style shows in the lavish theatre to live music, comedy, karaoke, and silent discos, as well as onboard nightclubs, allowing you to dance the night away. So if you want more holiday for less money, make sure you choose to cruise.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. Having not long been on a cruise, like you remember just all the things that you love about it. And
absolutely.
Sometimes the gap is too big between cruises and you kind of forget how good it is. So it's really nice to kind of remind yourself all over again, isn't it?
Get them lined up.
Go and do it. Honestly, yeah, you should at the moment, because honestly, it's the best time to do it. Absolutely the best time to do it.
With the offers at the moment, I mean...
Crazy.
We've got another one coming up for you. From the Caribbean to the romance of the Greek Isles. A 10-night trip starting on the 11th of June, and part of this adventure flies us from the UK over to gorgeous Venice. We're going to float around here with a 3-night hotel stay to enjoy.
Oh, I see what you did there.
I know.
The whole city
Clever,
floats,
right?
doesn't it?
The whole city floats. There's no... there's street names, but they are on the canals. So the streets are actually canals.
It's bonkers.
It is. If you've never been, you'll be just awe-inspired by it. But
beautiful.
there's no too many times to visit Venice.
No.
You'll find something different each time. And if you've been to Venice this time, you'll head over to Murano to see the incredible glass blowing and buy some beautiful hand-blown glass. And head to Piazza San Marco, grab a coffee, take the gondola. You've got to do it.
Oh, it's lovely to do.
They sing to you. Just one cornetto. Okay, then we're going to be transferring you to the port of Ravenna, where you'll enjoy the Explorer of the Seas for 7 nights. This iconic vessel is a beloved member of the fleet in Royal Caribbean, and she has lots of things on offer for you. Voyager class, so really a larger, family-friendly Royal Caribbean ship that enables you, not too large though, not mega ship size, still really a nice size for the family or just for couples or individuals. Don't forget, by the way, solo cruising is a huge thing. They do lots of activities on board for solo cruisers. You can get, solo cabin fares as well. So it's a nice holiday to do, to meet people, because you will meet people from all over the world, and you'll enjoy some delicious food, some wonderful entertainment, whatever you please, whatever you fancy. And of course, when it comes to exploring the ports of call, they get you ready to go even before you set foot in the ports. So, if you want to plan your days in port extensively, you can do it. If you don't want anything planned, you don't have to do it either. You can just take a wander around the local areas. A lot of people ask this question, first-time cruisers, can we get off? How does it work? What do you do?
Or
you don't have to get off.
Yeah, do we have to get off is a question that comes up all the time, which hadn't really occurred to me. But no, you absolutely not. You can sit there at the port, enjoy the nice weather, stay up on the top deck, feel like you've got the ship to yourself, or, food's still there, everything's still open and whatever. It's lovely. So let's take our 7-night cruise then out of Ravenna.
Indeed, in the beautiful summertime into Santorini first, where you could go wine tasting and visit Santo Winery or the Gaia Winery at Galavas. They're actually very well known for all their wineries. Or take a cable car ride up to Thira, the old town. Next up, we're into beautiful Mykonos. Maybe wander through Little Venice, which are the narrow streets and brightly coloured houses of this lovely spot. Or what about Greek Cookery School? Learn how to cook traditional Greek dishes at Mykononian Spiti, a family-run cookery school. Next up is Piraeus, which is the port for Athens, where you can witness and explore, thousands of years of history, ride an Athens hop-on, hop-off bus to get a lovely overview of the city, or a food tour, perhaps. Next up, we're into Split in lovely Croatia, where you can explore the islands and even visit the Blue Cave out on the sea, or perhaps experience zip-lining ziplining adventures not too far away. We're back into Ravenna, where you'll disembark, and we'll transfer you to the airport to fly home after this picture-perfect Mediterranean itinerary in beautiful summertime, where you'll get to enjoy incredible Greece, fantastic Croatia, and of course, luscious Italy.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't discount this as a first cruise, by the way, because this would be excellent. You know, if you've got plans in your mind, you've not yet taken your first cruise, Royal Caribbean is brilliant. So if it's just you two as a couple, absolutely perfect. I mean, there's something there for the whole family. If you've got the kids with you, brilliant, because they have amazing kids clubs. They have great activities, as you saw in the video there, things that you could all do together as a family, and time that the kids can have just doing their thing, which they'll absolutely love, by the way. They'll be like, okay, mum and dad, you go and see the castles and buildings and whatever, and we'll be over there in the kids club. They'll have an absolute dream. They really will. And maybe you've got a big family group. Maybe there's multi-generations of the same family. Maybe there's friends that you go away on holiday with. You know, use this as a brilliant base, because this, remember, covers your flights out to Venice, 3 nights there in a hotel, which of course we can make longer. And Venice itself is just uniquely beautiful as a city. And 3 nights is perfect. If you've never been there before, you'll definitely be back. Then we include the transfers to get you from Venice down to Ravenna, which is where you join the ship, Explorer of the Seas. That's a week of fun cruising around the Greek islands with Royal Caribbean. Back into Ravenna, we'll then transfer you back to Venice Airport to fly back to the UK. Now, have to tell you some important news on this one. One, we've got exclusive pricing here at Cruise1st, and we are down to the very last few available cabins for this cruise. So do be quick, because the cruise itself is sold out with the line themselves, apart from suites. We have very few inside ocean view and balconies available. Even by the time you're hearing this message and calling that number, the stateroom that you want may have already sold out. So I'm going to keep my fingers crossed for you. Tell you can put a deposit starting from just $399 per person in today. And quick, let's give you the price right now and hope that it's still available. Here's your price for inside. Fingers crossed. 1599, but we literally have a few opportunities, and I don't know whether they are still there. If you are 2 calls later, that could be it. Let's look at the overview straight away for the ocean view and balcony prices. Again, I have the same number of ocean view and balcony at the time of recording, but if they are gone, I can only apologise. We will find you the next deal. It's as simple as that. So I can't promise that everyone that wants this is going to get it. And I'm sorry, I'm apologising right now, but that's the situation we're in. This cruise is sold out with Royal Caribbean other than the suites. So it's only us that have got that availability, exclusive pricing there for you for a very few insides, ocean views and balcony. And if they've gone now, I'm sorry. Keep watching, keep talking to us. We've got more offers in this show as well, and our team will always hook you up with something else anyway. Listen, we are magicians at what we do here at Cruise1st, and you call us free, remember, on 0800 953 4700. So you never know, try your luck. It's not going to cost you a penny to call and find out whether that is available. You might still be lucky. Call now and try 0800 953 4700. Right, there you go. What a deal. For so few people as well, I have to say. So let's move on. Let's continue in our Royal Caribbean special, an opportunity to cruise down under along the Queensland coast to the Great Barrier Reef, as well as exploring awesome and spectacular South Pacific islands, which are gorgeous, let me tell you. We start this incredible almost 3-week holiday by flying from the UK to Brisbane in Australia. And let's check out this city and check into a hotel for 2 nights before we cruise. Looks lovely as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, great pre-cruise stay in Brisbane. That's again not something we see often. Normally it's Sydney. Yeah. And Brisbane is one of the hottest destinations in Australia, not just in temperature, but in terms of places to see and visit. You're in Queensland, so you have subtropical temperature, which is amazing. You have lovely beaches. You have a gorgeous waterfront, which was redeveloped a few years ago. Little kangaroos, aren't they cute? Mm-hmm. You've got the koala sanctuary to visit there as well. Hungry Jack's, that's their version of Burger King. Interesting fact for you. Lots of shopping, and of course lots of things to visit, such as Mount Tamborine, the Rainforest Skywalk. You can head up there. That's a really lovely thing to do whilst you're in Brisbane.
And Joe, am I right in saying this is the back end of what would be the summer in Australia in March, so you're out of the
Yeah.
intense heat of the summer.
Yeah, but
Good time to go.
Well, Brisbane is pretty tropical all year round, but not too. It's that nice sort of temperate climate, which is wonderful. And then we are cruising on board Voyager of the Seas. We're going to be on board for 16 nights.
That's good.
Which is a brilliant amount of time to cruise, especially since you are going further afield. You know, you're heading to Australia. This, for many people, might be a once-in-a-lifetime trip. So you need a nice amount of time to enjoy the surrounding areas.
Yeah, and I will just tell you before we start going through the itinerary in just a second, because the ship is a wonder, take that as a given, that the cruise we're about to take is actually called a back-to-back. So it's 16 nights in total, but that's 2 8-night cruises.
Yeah.
The first 8 nights will be the Queensland coast of Australia, and then the second 8 nights will be the South Pacific Islands. You can actually do kind of one or the other, or stick with the package as it is right now and do both. I would say the 16 nights, you know, do the whole lot in one if you can, if you've got the space and you've got the time to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Do it all in one, because, you know, it's a long journey, obviously, to get down to that part of the world. You may as well see and relax and enjoy as much of it as you can while you're there.
Yeah, absolutely. And while you're there, you can ice skate on board the ship. Who knew? There's golf. There's also mini golf. There's the rock climbing wall. There's all the usual favourites, such as, you know, lots of space to do the walk around the deck. A lot of people like to start their morning with that, and a nice coffee, walking a mile, they call it, around the deck. You get a certificate even. In fact, you can collect tokens and you can win things at the end of the trip. It's really cool. Airlie Beach, an overnight to start our brilliant trip. In the heart of the reef, there's even a heart reef there, by helicopter, float plane, by glass bottom boat, snorkel, dive. There's so many ways to see one of the great wonders of the world, the Great Barrier Reef, and this will be amazing. Next up, we're into Cairns, which is another stopping off point for the Barrier Reef, but you've also got, you know, the famed Daintree National Rainforest, which is gorgeous to visit whilst you're there, and the Sky Rail and the Corunda Scenic Railway. Beautiful. Willis Island is up next. This is for scenic cruising. It's a tiny island. It measures just 1,600 feet long, and it's the only permanent inhabited island in the Coral Islands territory, uninhabited. You've got lots of wildlife there as well. Then we're into Brisbane. So we have, this is, of course, like we said, it's a back-to-back cruise. You have another time here to visit wonderful Brisbane and maybe see something you didn't see during your first few days there. Koalas, yeah. So cute. Next up, we are into Luganville in Vanuatu, second largest town in Vanuatu, and this is really picture-perfect paradise. You might want to experience some traditions of this part of the world, you know, go and see, you know, a traditional village. Then we're into Port Vila in Vanuatu with the beautiful blue lagoon. You can see how gorgeous the ocean is right there. And of course, these are natural wonders, these islands. So you'll see lots of incredible rainforest and picture-perfect beaches. Next up, we're into Mystery Island. It was dubbed a Mystery Island because its location prevented the Japanese from seeing it during the war. So it has that history behind it. You can learn about the war while you're there, but you can go to the beaches and see marine life too, which is great. Noumea is next in gorgeous New Caledonia, which is the capital. But look, if you love diving, snorkeling, if you love just paddling in the water, or again, helicopter and float plane tours over the reef, these islands are the best places to see it. A couple of days sees us back into Brisbane where you'll disembark. We'll fly you back to the UK after your amazing adventure down under. Of course, flying over to Brisbane, enjoying some days there before you head out on your adventure to the Great Barrier Reef, one of the wonders of the world. Cruising through before you head into Brisbane for another visit, then into Vanuatu, New Caledonia, and back into Brisbane where you'll fly home.
And hands up, confession time now. Who before this itinerary had heard of Vanuatu? No, me neither, actually. I mean, until talking about it. I mean, I've known about it for a few years now, but that's from talking about cruising. If you'd have said to me 15 years ago, Vanuatu, I'd have said, bless you. I would have had no idea what that meant, but you get to explore its wonders, and I just long to go to Australia. You know, I can't keep it a secret. I absolutely really want to go to Australia. I am working on the team for future plans in Australia. Listening? Good, marvellous. But this is your chance to plan right now for Australia with Royal Caribbean in March of 2026. Deposits today start from just $399 per person, and your package, listen to this because this is massive. The flight from the UK to Brisbane over in Australia, 2 nights in a hotel there, and then a whopper 16 nights of Royal Caribbean cruising on Voyager of the Seas, cruising around the coast of Oz, the Queensland coast, including an overnight in Airlie Beach, which is the port for the Great Barrier Reef, and then heading out to gorgeous Vanuatu and New Caledonia. Plus, of course, at the end of your 16-night whopping cruise, your flight back from Brisbane in Australia. And this is why I want to do it so much as well, because I always thought, again, before talking about cruising and before working with Cruise1st, you know, you close your eyes and you think, I'd love to go to Australia, and then you think of how much it would cost, and you think, well, that's it. I haven't got tens of thousands sitting there for, you know, for one holiday, but this has managed to cram in so much for your time away. Well, it's just shy of 3 weeks. And remember, the cruise itself, as I said, is a back-to-back cruise. So if you wanted to just do the first 8 nights of that cruise and do the Queensland coast in Australia, then fly back from Brisbane, you can. Equally, if you wanted to fly to Brisbane and do the second half, which is the Vanuatu and Mystery Island and New Caledonia part, you can do that just on its own in a package as well. We can do all of that, but that's got 16 nights of cruise with Royal Caribbean full board wrapped up in it, and it's the other side of the world. It's right down there. It's already tomorrow where this cruise is going to happen. It's incredible. Here's the overview and the details there, because this is so good. Bear in mind your upgrade prices are based on a 16-night sailing. I mean, that's really good, and 2 completely different itineraries as well, and 2 completely beautiful itineraries too. But listen, this is yours for the taking right now. Deposits today will lock in that price tag for you. Deposits start at $399 per person. So if you've been, you know, if you've had it on your list for maybe not just 1 or 2 years, but decades, you've been sitting on plans. Maybe you've got friends, you've got relatives, you know, down in Australia as well. A lot of people do in the UK have connections in Australia. If it's, you know, East Coast, if it's Queensland coast, then just perfect. Absolutely perfect. And listen, at the end of this, when you come into Brisbane, if you think, well, actually, I didn't see Sydney while I was here and I've always wanted to do that, we can always say at the end of that, then rather than flying back to the UK from Brisbane, we get you a city flight down to Sydney and a few nights in a hotel there before you come back. I mean, you're going all of that way, you almost might as well.
Or you rent a car and drive, that's an option. And
that'd be fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's not too far actually, maybe 8 hours.
Do they drive on the same side of the road in Australia? Oh,
yes.
I don't know. Do they?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that would be handy. Do you want to check that, Mr. P, just to make sure? Are you sure? 100% sure?
I grew up there, but I don't know if I remember. Yeah, no, I mean, it's the same side of the road. Yeah.
It's an hour's flight from Brisbane to Sydney. Mr. P is saying he would take the flight. Yes, they do drive on the left-hand side.
I can't believe I almost forgot that for a moment.
I can't believe
my childhood home.
I can't believe that hasn't come up in conversation before, actually.
I know.
But there you go.
It is same as Thailand, same as I think South
blimey,
Africa.
she's going around the world now.
Same as where else?
All right,
lots
Phileas
of places.
Fogg.
Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently, it's due to how people used to carry their swords.
Oh.
Way back when.
Is it?
Yeah. As to Napoleon. Anyway, we need to Google this.
It's just like homework. It's like every day's a school day, isn't it? Anyway, listen, we talk world facts, trivia that can win you pub quizzes and amazing holidays every single day here on Cruise1st TV. And the deals are absolutely ridiculous. Do spread the word and make sure that you come back for some more fabulous shows, because we are here one way or another, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, just talking about holidays. It's brilliant. See you soon.
Man, here you go.